Hello everyone and welcome to this week's episode of Virtually Alive. Today we're going to be learning all about psychology. Psychology is the study of people's thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. Clinical psychology is what puts that knowledge to use. There are several different aspects of psychology and they are all very important. Our brains do lots of important things, including controlling our memory. When an event happens, when you learn something or when you meet someone, your brain determines whether that information needs to be saved. If your brain judges the information as important, it places it in your memory files. You probably know your brain has different parts, but we will go over some of the specific ones now. This is what the brain looks like. The frontal lobe, which is this one, helps control our personality, behavior, emotions, speech, intelligence, and consciousness. Next is the temporal lobe, which processes hearing and is involved in memory recall. Now, the parietal lobe processes messages such as sense of touch, pain, sensory feelings, and memory. The occipital lobe interprets vision, light, color, and movement, while the cerebellum, which is located here, controls balance, movement, and coordination, meaning that it is the part of the brain that is responsible for our being able to walk without falling over. Lastly, the brain stem sends messages between brain and body, controlling basic body functions such as breathing, swallowing, heart rate, blood pressure, consciousness, and tiredness. Psychology is the study of understanding how these parts of the brain work together to affect our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. In today's video, we are going to do 3 very fun activities. This first one is making our own ink blots. This is a really fun activity about the Rorschach test, which is a psychological test where subjects' perceptions of ink blots are recorded and then analyzed using psychological interpretation. It was one of the first modern-day psychology techniques. Personality and emotional functioning can be determined based on the images people see when they look at the ink blots. Please watch this video linked in the description if you want more information on ink blots and how they were created. To do this activity, we will require cardstock or printer paper and any color of paint. To start, fold your paper in half, hot dog style, and then open it up and lay it flat. Now you can add paint onto your paper and fold it in half again. Using your fingers, spread out the paint and then open it back up and you can see your design. You can add the paint in any way you want, as you can see here. You can change it up and get different shapes and designs. You can also use more than one color since we are just doing this for fun, not to actually create a psychological test. Once it's dry, try and test what designs you see. I asked my friends Zahira and Sophia what they saw, and while they saw a man wearing sunglasses with a beard, I saw an owl's face with big feet sitting on a rock. In this picture, I see an alien crying, and Zahira saw a reindeer. But these images change when you flip them around. As you can see, there are so many different things that each person can see, and nobody will see exactly the same thing. There is also no right answer. The next activity we are going to do is to test out the Stroop effect. For this activity, you will need printouts of the colors and word sheets that are in the description box, scissors, a stopwatch or timer, and a friend, family member, or guardian. Once you have printed out these graphics on a sheet of paper, you will need to cut them up as you can see me do here. Now that you have what you need, you can administer the Stroop test. How this works is, you look at the cards and you try to say the color of the word, not the word that's written. Now, this can be kind of complicated, but you will see me do it here.
Green, red, yellow, green, blue, black, orange, red, blue, green, blue, pink, black, gray, yellow, red, blue. Ah!
As you can see, it's pretty hard to say the color instead of the word that's written. Now, to do this with your family member or friends, you just test each other, and you can do this in several different ways. First, you could put a timer on and see how many words you can get through in 30 seconds, or you could test each other to see how many words you can say without messing up. The Stroop effect was named after J. Ridley Stroop, who discovered this strange phenomenon in the 1930s. The words themselves have a strong influence over your ability to say the color. The interference between the different information your brain receives, that is what the words say and the color of the words, causes a problem. There are 2 theories that may explain the Stroop effect. The first is the speed of processing theory, which is that the interference occurs because words are read faster than colors are named. The second is the selective attention theory, which argues that the interference occurs because naming colors requires more attention than reading words. Whatever theory you believe, it's a fun activity to try out on your friends and family. Our last activity is going to be all about multitasking. We are going to talk about how we are able to multitask and what that does to our brains. To do this activity, you will need to print off the worksheet in the description of this video, and you will also need a pen and a friend or family member. To start, pick an item from the first row and one from the first column. Now try to do both those tasks at the same time. Put a check mark if you can do it and an X if you can't. If you are able to do an activity but find it difficult, you can take note of that difficulty on your paper. As you can see, certain things are easier to multitask than others. This is because the difficulty all depends on what part of your brain you're using and if they overlap. As you can see here, I really struggled with the first box about twisting your arm one way and your leg the other. This has to do with the fact that both of these commands come from the same part of my brain. Now you can go through each of the other parts of this worksheet and mark down your results. Once you've marked down your results from all of your other activities, it will be really easy to see that it's really hard to do activities that come from the same part of the brain. But that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for new videos every single week. We'll see you next time. Bye!